What's up, everybody? My name's Chance, and today we're going to be diving into an Esper Flash Humans deck, and not a Esper Flash party deck, though it may seem that way when we first dive into it. So bear with me as we go through all these cards. It's kind of crazy, but it also really works. It's this new style of tempo that I'm sure you'll be seeing ever so soon. So starting us out, we have 3 copies of Speaker of the Heavens. It's a nice little 1/1 that can be built up to give you vigilance and lifelink on a creature. You can also tap it later on and get these 4/4 angels down, which is obviously really good for a 1-drop, right? Next up, we have a card that I feel is being heavily slept on, and that is Concerted Defense. 1 mana for this instant, counter target non-creature spell unless its controller pays 1 plus an additional 1 for each creature in your party. So it kind of becomes like a Spell Pierce, right? Spell Pierce used to counter instants and sorceries. This counters all non-creatures, and usually you'll have at least 1 rogue or 1 cleric down, so the opponent will generally have to pay 2, right? Moving us down, we have 4 copies of Thieves Guild Enforcer. 1 mana, 1/1 flash, rogue, enters the battlefield, mills the opponent 2 cards. This isn't a mill deck, but hitting your opponent to that 8 card threshold or whatever will make your Soaring deal extra damage, will make your Thieves Guild deal extra damage, and you might end up milling your opponent something they need, like land or a big spicy spell, right? 3 copies of Village Rites to help us gain something if our creatures are going to die, right? We get to draw 2 cards, instant speed, only 1 mana. All of this stuff is very strong. 3 copies of Glass Casket for removal, 2 copies of Luminarch Aspirant to help build up our other creature. Also, it's Cleric, so it helps with Concerted Defense. Niambi, another card I think is being slept on. 2 mana for this 2/1 flash. Whenever it enters the battlefield, you may return another target creature you control to its owner's hand. If you do, you gain life equal to that creature's converted mana cost. And then furthermore, for 3 mana, you can tap it, discard a legendary card, and draw 2 cards. So if you have an extra copy of Niambi, you can tap it, discard Niambi, and draw 2. Or same thing with Kudro and Lurrus, right? Moving us down, we have 1 copy of Staggering Insight. I don't think you need a ton of this card, but if you draw into it, you're going to be happy that you did, right? It goes really well onto your Soaring or any other creature that you may have Maul or Demonic on to send up into the skies. 4 copies of Dire Tactics, and this is kind of the whole reason why we played this deck. Is this is some of the best removal, if not the best removal in the game we have right now. 2 mana, instant speed, exile target creature, no drawback unless we don't control human, which we have plenty of humans. Our whole deck is humans. So realistically, 2 mana, exile target creature, instant speed. That's insane value, right? Soaring, we've talked about, does come down at flash speed, which is really nice for us. We have a lot of flash creatures in this deck, and that allows us to keep our mana up, keep our counter magic up, that kind of stuff, and push into the opponent's turn and then play our spells. We have 1 copy of Maul and 2 copies of Demonic Embrace to help push us to the finish line with that evasion. Sending your creatures into the sky is generally a great way to still be able to get in with the damage, right? Call the Death Dweller, going to help you bring back some of these creatures. Also, giving it Menace and Death Touch, really nice. General Kudro, other humans you control get +1/+1, so we are playing a human deck, that's really nice. Whenever General Kudro or another human enters the battlefield under your control, exile target card from an opponent's graveyard. Now this kind of works in opposition to the rogues, right? Generally you want to get to the 8 cards, then be like, okay, this is good, this is where I want to be at, and not exile the opponent's stuff. However, I found this kind of works well with General Kudro, right? So you mill your opponent, then they have the Croaksters, or they have the Escapes. General Kudro comes down, you exile the Croaksters, you exile the Escapes, and you're right back to doing good. So it kind of attacks the decks that try to be good against rogues, right? By exiling their graveyard. Lurrus is going to allow us to play our creatures and our permanents down here in this 2 CMC or less area for the free ski. Come back, or I guess not for the free ski, but they get to come back to life, and that's what's really nice, right? And then 2 copies of Agadeems to bring back a massive hole of creatures, right? Our lands are as split as they possibly can be, and then of course we still have some basics, so that way our Fableds can go in and grab them. This is a super awesome deck. As far as tiers go, I would say it's a tier 1. It's a very tempo, flash, creature heavy deck, so the way that you'll be playing it is very mid-range style. You want to try to leave up your mana as much as possible so you can use your Concerted Defense, your Dire Tactics, all that kind of stuff in instant speed. And of course you can still get down your Thieves Guild, Soaring, Niambi, all this stuff during your opponent's turn as well. So make sure you're leaving a little bit of mana up to interact with your opponent's stuff, and that will really help you with the control and the difficulty of playing the deck, right? As far as speed goes, it is meant to be relatively quick, mostly an aggro to mid-range style where you're trying to take the opponent out earlier rather than later, right? You have the Luminarch, you have the Demonic Embrace, the Maul, all this kind of stuff to help you build up and accomplish those goals, right? Speed, power. So power, like I said, is pretty strong. You have the evasion in the end. You have the Luminarch to help build up your creatures, and the Lurrus to recur all of your creatures that may get taken out. As far as control goes, I'd say it's semi-controlling. You have the Concerted Defense, Glass Casket, Dire Tactics, all this kind of stuff that allows you to deal with your opponent's stuff. Not only that, you have a lot of stuff that allows you to fizzle your opponent's spells, such as Niambi and Village Rites, right? And then last but not least, the strategy. We pretty much already talked about it, but you want to be diving in with as many creatures as possible, leaving up as much mana as possible, and dealing with your opponent's threats as they come, making sure your board is as stacked as possible while still having mana to deal with any possible future threats, right? Anyways, that's going to do it for the deck tech breakdown. Hope you've all enjoyed the video. If so, please be sure to leave a like down below. Most importantly, if you're new here and you're enjoying the content, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell icon that pops out afterwards, so that way I know you're enjoying it, and that way you can come back for more, right? Now, without further ado, we are going to go ahead and dive right into our matches. Mumbo Jumbo, that's what I'm talking about. There's a whole lot of Mumbo Jumbo. 2 lands again, that's alright. We'll keep this. We definitely want this down as white mana. Question, do we want this down as blue or black? Blue allows us to get the Niambi down. Black allows us to get the Soaring Thought-Thief. So, you know, interesting. Black also plays well into the General Kudro, which could boost up our speakers, so... Oh, you know what? We can't play the Soaring because we don't have blue, right? So we'll need this to come down as blue in order to get to that. Alright. I don't really want to Glass Casket their Alslid. Alright, I think we just play down another speaker. Call it a turn. Looking for some land. There we go. Sap land, but I'll still take it. I will gladly, happily still take it. So that's another rogue, which plays well with the Soarings. Also with the General. So, sure, why not? I don't think we Glass Casket. I don't want to swing in necessarily either, though. So I think we just play it patient. This is a weird sort of tempo deck, I think. Is the style of play that we're going to be looking for here. Now, if they go for something like a Skyclave Apparition, we can always use Niambi and bounce our stuff back. It's an Archon. Archon's a little unfortunate for us. We can Glass Casket, take out the Alslid this turn, then they won't have protection for the Archon in the future. And we'll still have mana for the Thieves Guild on their turn. So I think that's a fair play. Let's take the Alslid so they won't have protection. We have Thieves Guild to come down. Turn after that, we could have General. And then maybe have swing in potential. We'll see. It's Simic. Whoa, Simic Archon deck. I'm liking it, Mumbo Jumbo. Ooh, another Archon. That's unfortunate for us. So the first Archon's definitely going to swing in here. Yeah. Honestly, I can go ahead and play this. No need for us to wait. Another land is alright for us. Staggering Insight's really good. So we can either have the General come down and swing in with what we have, and we'll definitely lose a creature. Or we could have Soaring come down. If we have both Soarings come down plus the General, we can actually trade out, can't we? If we can get them to 8. Let's see, that puts 2, 3. That makes 4. I think so. We need more black mana. That's what we're lacking here. So I could play one of these in that next turn. Alright, let's have a Soaring come down. 4, this will be 6. We're gonna have to take this damage here, which I don't love, but enigmatic. Oh, this is so spicy. Alright, so they sacrifice the Omen. What do they get here? Skyclave, maybe? We don't have the mana for Niambi. Oh, Cetessin, even spicier. So Staggering is pretty good for us. I could go another Soaring plus Staggering. They're at 5. This puts them to 7. If I swing in, does put them to 8. This guy's definitely coming down. Swing in with 1, puts it to 2-3. Use Niambi to bounce it, but then we lose that. If I just use Staggering, goes up to a 2-4, which means it can block. Alright, well let's just equip this here. I think I can swing in with Thieves Guild. And that will both proc to mill them, which will make these guys bigger, as well as give her Death Touch. So they may trade a Pegasus out here. Yeah. But now we have a 4-4 lifelink rogue, so decent little defense there. We have a 3-3 which can defend against a 2-2, so might have a little more fortitude in the match, so to speak. I would like to untap and have Niambi available before they play any removal, right? Oh, that is beautiful. It actually happened. We need to find a little bit more land now. That's the next order of business. So I think we're just playing it even here. We're just letting it go back and forth. We'll use Niambi if need be. I don't think we can afford to swing in. I could get down general, but we're losing all of our... I think I gotta go for the general. Build our units, right? What are we exiling from them? ECD? Or the other Archon? I guess it doesn't really matter, right? So, still not worth a swing in, but now we have 2 rogues that can defend in the skies. Land and nothing. That's good for us. Oh, we hit a land. Okay. Let us swing with these guys, right? Because we have the call and they don't know that. So we can call back a Thieves Guild and one of the Soarings. We could also use Niambi to protect the other Soaring, so we could theoretically not lose any creatures here. Alright, they're going to double block there. So yeah, I could use Niambi to bounce that Soaring, play this land, and call, but we wouldn't really need to call. I could just replay the Soaring, right? We would lose the Staggering. We don't take out any of their Pegasus. We do deal 4 damage, but we also don't gain any life. Could sacrifice Soaring and a Speaker, then play call. They don't have any creatures. You know what? I think I just actually let this happen. We gain the life. We trade out with one of them. Then we can just call. Bring these 2 back. I think we want this down as black mana, even though it won't allow us to use the Niambi, right? So Death Touch counter, Death Touch counter there, and Menace counter here. Outlid, ECD. Play this, we can have Niambi available. Can't. Man, we're really hurting on that black mana. If I draw a Lurrus, I know I'll hate it if I don't do this. So we won't really have any, like, playability. We can play the Lurrus, but we won't have any play around that, right? I mean, we do have the white mana. I think it's fine. They're hitting nothing but lands anyways. They're flooding. Oh no, I cursed this. I cursed this. Alright, I think we gotta get in. You know what I mean? We are milling them at a pretty good rate too here. They're down to 20 already. We have Niambi to pull back anything that might die. They're taking all the damage. Wow, down to 19. All right. Oh, should have played that land. There was no reason to not. Mumbo Jumbo, we're taking them down. That was a cool deck, but oh, they hit another land. Here we go. Here's a non-rogue start. I'm happy to see this. So, Agadeem's acts as the third land here. That'll be fine. Opponent does get to go first, which is a little unfortunate for us, but aside from that, you know, I think we got a good little base here. I am gonna go ahead and get down to Fabled. We'll grab, probably just go ahead and grab some black mana, honestly. And with Brightclimb, you know, you just leave it as white mana and all will be swell. Although I kind of suspect them to have a Bone Crusher here, so I don't really want to play a Luminarch down without having Village Rites capability. So we're just going to pass it back to him. You know, no biggie. I'm in no rush if you're in no rush. If you're showing me red mountains and all that and you're not playing creatures, I'm not going to poke the sleeping beast. You know, hell, let the dragon sleep. I also like how you have the Jace avatar, like you play, or not avatar. Oh, you do have the Jace avatar, but you have the Jace little puppet over there, like you play some fun decks. But in all actuality, hey, thanks for that. I was actually looking for, you know, something right along those lines. So couldn't have planned that better myself, honestly, sir, madam. I don't know which way that goes. Anyways, we'll Glass Casket the Relic Robber here, keep them downtown, and by that I mean, you know, suppress them off and away. Concerted Defense may not prove to be the world's worst draw here against mono red. We will go ahead and grab blue mana despite having any other blue spells in our hand. This could prevent their Ember Cleave with relative ease. I won't say super easily, but we're gonna go for a Luminarch here. It gives us the ability. Wow, this song is like really loud. Is it really loud for y'all as well? Hold up. Let's skip through our turn. And let's turn this down, or maybe just skip the song. How about that? So we could counter it, and they wouldn't be able to do anything about it. But again, I think I want to save that counter for the Ember Cleave. You know, we know eventually they'll have it, and when they do, we'll be ready. So we can always play one of these Agadeems down as a land, and that actually will give us the 3 black mana we need to cast our other Agadeems, which is nice. We only have the Luminarch Aspen over there right now, and it would only be able to grab one thing, but it's future endeavors that we're setting up for. So that's a big no. It's not an Ember Cleave, but you know, it does lead them down a nice little path, so I'll say no. So we could go General Kudro. We have so much, you know, black mana, but we don't have any white or blue, which is a little unfortunate for us here. I think I'm gonna just go for the Luminarch and you know, buff up herself here in turn. Maybe I should have gone for a Kudro, given we have 2 in hand, but I just got this weird thing about playing the lords first, right? I always feel like they should come down after, and then opponent got another Ironcrag Feat. We'll hope it's not a Yugen here. Fiery Emancipation. They're playing fun stuff. What you got there for us? And your big bag of tricks. Because you still got 2 mana left over. But they can't play any other spells, right? Because Ironcrag Feat, right? So you just got to end your turn now. Yeah, there you go. You can play something on my turn, but you only have 1 mana. So that's the drawback there, right? Anyways, we'll enter this Agadeem's tapped, I think. I still want to be building mana. No reason not to. So, again, we only have the 1 access to white mana. Kind of want to leave Niambi available, but at the same time, slamming down a General could allow us to swing in for 4 damage, right? Whereas Niambi could allow us to fizzle if they have like a Bone Crusher, something of that nature. Let's just go next to combat. I'm not worried about the 1 extra point. We'll swing in. I think I will get down the General, because if they do remove something, you know, it's just all the more reason to bring something right back, right? I guess we'll get rid of the Scorching. I don't think it'll really be a problem with this deck, but still. So our Luminarch's pretty big. Our biggest fear now is something like a Storm's Wrath. Okay, Scorching. Exile. Exile sucks. I will admit that I wasn't expecting them to have more Scorching, but you know, two off the bat's not a horrible thing. And it's Laying Fire. Hey, it's laying day. Soaring Thought-Thief off the top. Not terrible for us, it's just more creatures. Yeah, I won't say that's a bad draw. We will Agadeems for 3 here, so we don't really have to play anything, and I can get the Kudro and the Luminarch right back. Look at this, you thought they were gone, but nay, here they be. You actually cannot submit 0 with Kudro. That's, I guess I could submit the same card, right? Cancel its ability. So we have rogues coming, so you know, we kind of want them to be losing cards. That's the only nombo of this deck, by the way. Brash Chaunter. Can't say I didn't see that one coming. You know what's wonderful about Brash Chaunter? It gets exiled real easy. It gets exiled super easy. So I think we save this mana now for the Niambi to just power our creatures through, right? We can play this at instant speed on their turn, the Soaring, so same thing with Niambi. This is a really good position for us. We've dealt with their removal pretty well, I'd say. You know, most creature decks, they sort of fizzle out if the opponent's got a lot of removal, but the opponent has played, you know, 3 copies of removal, and we've dodged them. We've dodged them all pretty well. I'd also like to say the opponent's got this weird goblin tribal thing sort of going on as well. So I definitely can appreciate the opponent's deck. It is what it is. So are they gonna swing in? I mean, you get to deal 6 damage, so I don't see why you wouldn't. You know what I mean? Bam! Alright. Let's get the Soaring down. My turn. Call the Death Dweller. Do we even have any cards to bring back? We don't. I didn't think so. Alright, spread this damage out. Alright. So that was 10 damage in case you couldn't count. We had 4, 3, 3. Makes 7, makes 10. So GG there as well. The Varzel? We're just gonna call you Varzel. Because I don't like that Varzel. The Varzel? We're gonna keep this. I know we have the Luminarchs and we have the Niambi. We're just probably going to use this Fabled to grab us some white mana. I almost want to do it on turn 1 as well, actually. What that allows us to do is turn 2 Luminarch. Turn 3, we have Niambi and Thieves Guild available at flash speed, right? So that's like a pretty good overall line of play, I think. Call me crazy, but you know. So we could go Speaker first here, but I'm gonna stick to the plan, go for the Luminarch. Because playing Speaker doesn't do anything, unless I would have played this down as black mana, in which case we could have played the Speaker plus the Thieves Guild in 1 turn. But it's a matter of, do I want to go wider with my units, or do I want to go bigger, you know? Do I want Luminarch to start building, or do I want, you know, 2 units in the same turn? Generally, I'd say it depends on the meta. If it's a very board wipe heavy meta, which right now we're in a pretty even state, I'd say. People are like, oh, it's only in Gruul and Rogues, but like realistically in play queue. So that Village Rites is really good. I think everything else we have comes down to instant speed, doesn't it? So Luminarch just builds itself here. Could get down the other Luminarch and then also have Village Rites. Kind of like that. Because realistically, if we bounce a Luminarch anyways, it's going to lose all of its counters, so might as well be sacrificing it, am I right? Anyways, this also allows us to deal a little bit more damage here, so that's good. Alright, get in for 4. And if this is a mono-white life gain deck, then I really want to pepper them down sooner rather than later, because they're really good at building counters on creatures and just making them huge, right? So if they play a Heliod here, I don't think it procs the Daxos. Owlslid does, but it doesn't give them any counters because they don't have the Heliod, right? So it's just life gain. No biggie, no biggie. No Glass Casket. No Glass Casket. Sentinel's Oz. Okay, they're just trying to make their Daxos as big as they can so it can, you know, deal with our Luminart. That's fine. I think we allow this to just ring on through. Yeah. Oh, not you, speaker. Now we'll get down Thieves Guild. They're like, what is this deck the opponent is playing? It's so confusing. Or maybe everybody thinks we're playing an Esper Human Party deck. Maybe everybody else is on that same wavelength. So we have the option of going Speaker and then having mana for Soaring at instant speed, or going Niambi at instant speed and having mana for Village Rites at instant speed. Well, we don't want to generally play these two in the same turn, right? That'd be us losing 2 units. That we could bounce this Luminarch, probably wouldn't be the world's worst. You know what? I'm gonna just go in as is. Alright, so just buff up here and make her into a 6 damage creature. 6 damage holding massive creature. The opponent, I know they have the Owlslid to proc, but I can't think of what other 1 mana white instant speed spell they would have here, you know what I mean? So, we're going to swing in with the Luminarch. We'll see how far it gets us. What cards have we milled so far? An Owlslid and a Maul. So we know they carry the big heavy hammer. That's fine. Speaking of heavy hammers, I'm super excited to see what the Thor depiction in this upcoming set is, you know? That is something that very much interests me. So they just take it on the chin with the Owlslid, and, you know, Daxos gains them a little bit more life, but we do get rid of that little creature. I think I want to go Speaker here. We'll still have mana for the Village Rites if things hit the fan. Excuse me. Granted, it's not a Niambi, but this also allows us to have Soaring at instant speed and not sort of waste our turns not playing anything, right? We're still building our board out. So, opponent just plays a land and then passes it directly to the Daxos to attack Sos. Yeah, we'll take it. We could block here and use Village Rites to, you know, oh, you didn't deal the damage and I drew 2 cards. Ah, but we don't really have any recursion right now. Archon, that's what they're going with. All right, so we're going to throw the Soaring out now just to scare them a little bit, you know. They're like, oh no, he's going to counter it. But we didn't. We didn't. You can breathe easy. A little unfortunate that we're just finding our 1-drops here. Not necessarily what you want. Now we still get to swing at them with the big Luminarch, but so far they've been gaining life at an incredibly nice pace. We could also start building up the Soaring. If I play Speaker, we can't play Niambi, so I think we gotta save for the Niambi Village Rites here, and I think it is high time we start building this Soaring out. Of course, we'll swing in with the Luminarch. Worst case scenario, we take out their Archon. Best case scenario, we just pop them in the face for a little bit. Alright, so we got a 3/5 Soaring. That's at least enough to block the Archon. That's good. We could also start building up our speakers, right? So they can gain us some life. They are swinging in with the Archon. We're definitely blocking with the Soaring. I mean, we have Niambi ready. We have Village Rites ready. Sure, we may lose some counters, but, you know, being able to maybe fizzle whatever they got here. Karametra's Blessing. Alright, we resolved that. Niambi. Take action, we'll gain life here. Not only will we gain life, but we're also negating the 5 life gain they would have gained and the damage. So, that's a fun one. I feel like Niambi is also kind of a slept-on card. 2 mana, save a creature, gain life. It's a 2/1, so it's not even that bad. You have the whole 3 mana, discard a legendary, draw 2 cards in the rare scenarios where you have like 2 Kudros or whatever, right? Banishing Light, go for it, try it. I got a Village Rites. Of course, I don't love losing this 6/6. At least we're not losing it for nothing, right? It's going to the graveyard. It's not getting exiled. We're drawing 2 cards off of it. Another Niambi. That's all right. That's some more negating that's going to be happening. So Daxos is probably catching this Glass Casket. We still haven't seen any land, which is absolutely insane to me. But, you know, it is what it is. We could pay with Niambi to discard the other Niambi and look for lands, but at that point we're only playing either a Thieves Guild or a Speaker and maybe nothing at all. So I think I have to go for the Glass Casket. We can go Soaring Instant Speed. If I go Soaring Instant Speed, I could also play down a Speaker here. All right, let's play down a Speaker. I talked myself out of the Thieves Guild. Having the other Soaring enter will make it go up to a 2/3, which means we can block the 2/2 Pegasus from the sky. We can always chum block into this. So I am going to start building up my Speakers, by the way. I want a big, healthy, hardy, vigilance, life-gaining little priest guy. Cleric, sorry. I'm sorry, Speaker. I don't mean to insult you, but, you know, names are confusing. You read through over 1,000 Magic cards, and I feel like they get a little tied together. I'm sure there's some people out there that would probably disagree with me, but whatever. So we are falling for whatever trap card they may have here as far as like instant speed shenanery or whatever. But I think it's something that needs to happen. You know, we can't just take 5 to the chin. So get down Soaring. We'll block the 2/2 lifelinker. They may have another Karametrus here. Ouch, if so, you know. But we've gone through so many of these 1-drops and these small playables that we've... It hurts, but we've got to be coming upon some land and some General Kudro, some Lurruses, some Demonic Embraces that we can't play because we can't draw land. Okay. Oh, all right. No problem. No biggie. No biggie. This is no problemo. Our Speaker's going up to a 3/3. Now, I kind of want to Glass Casket their Daxos so our Speaker can just start raining in. You know, we could gain 4 life here, deal decent damage, still have Thieves Guild come down, which is good. Yeah, you know, we're doing it. Let's do this. Thankfully, I think we burned out their Karametras, right? They've already used up 2, so let's hope that this hits on the Daxos. It does! Oh, so awesome. Playing the Thieves Guild here doesn't do anything for us. Let's boost up this Speaker. And all in we shall swing. Swing low, sweet chariot. Omen of the Sun? You've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. We should have guessed it. Oh, this is so brutal for us. So we're about to lose the Thieves Guild, the Luminarch, and maybe the Niambi, maybe the Speaker. Alright, so definitely brutal. Brutal. But we did gain some life. Of course, they're going to have more attackers on the backswing. But if I could ever find, you know, a land... would have been nice. I guess we pretty much played all of our cards now. I just need Call of the Death Dweller, Lurrus, Kudro. The land ship has kind of come and gone. Now I'm back to needing playables. Or a land that allows me to play my playables, am I right? Vigilance on the Archon almost puts the nail in the casket for us. It's a sad day when you've seen 3 lands and 16 cards, but you know, that's just the odds. What is that? Almost 1 in 5, 25% land draw. That's appropriate. Down to 9. Let's hope we can pull this one back. Let's get the Thieves Guild down. This again will proc the Thieves Guild to be death touching 3/2s. Oh, yeah, get rid of those all that glitters. That feels good. Feels so good. So what do we need now at this point in our games? Well, not another Thieves Guild, I can tell you that much. Oh, that's a GG. You know, We crapped out. 3 lands, confirmed, not enough to win.